How much should you write for AQA English Language Paper 1 Question 2? In this video, I'll share everything we've learned from the exam reports about this popular topic and explain why there's not just one simple answer. So the first thing to say is that this is an 8-mark question, so you should spend around 10 minutes on it. Why? Because if we allow 15 minutes to read the source, that leaves us with 90 minutes to gain a maximum potential of 80 marks, so we should spend around 1 minute per mark available. Now this in itself is quite shocking. There is always so much we could write about in this question. Just look at all the language features I found in my sample paper. Clearly, in 10 minutes, we are not going to be able to write about everything, and we shouldn't try to. The June 2018 exam report reminded us that you get marks for the quality of your analysis, not the number of different language features you find. And 3 exam reports have explained that narrowing down your choice and exploring the effects in depth is key to this question. So yes, at the beginning you want to highlight or underline all the things you might write about, but then you want to stop and think which ones you will include in your answer. And one way to do that is to think about which quotations you can go into detail on and be perceptive, going beyond surface level meaning, looking at connotations, for example. We don't want to choose quotations that don't have a meaning beyond the simple surface level because we won't be able to go into depth and detail with them. If we look at our example here, I'll show you what I mean. In the line, I was obliged to go step by slow step for fear of veering off onto the marsh and then into the rising water. If we chose to write about the word fear, creating the effect of feeling unsettled, we'd just write something very simple, like the writer describes the narrator's fear, which shows they were afraid and creates an unsettling effect. And this quotation simply could not be developed. We'd just end up paraphrasing it, adding something like, this is unsettling because it shows he's afraid. We're just writing the same thing, paraphrasing, rewording the quote in different words. Now, one exam report for paper 2 question 3 was really helpful here. Yes, that is a different question, but it's the language analysis question in paper 2. So the assessment objective and skills are the same, so we can apply what we learn from it to this question as well. The November 2023 exam report said that you should explain why images or words were chosen in as much detail as possible. Let that sink in as much detail as possible. So we want to choose a quotation that has a deeper meaning than the surface level, something that has connotations, meanings we associate with it beyond the simple literal meaning. So in our example here, we could take the use of the word dark and the word darkness, and we could analyze it in much more detail, writing something like this. The writer's use of dark and darkness is a calculated choice to emphasize the unsettling nature of the narrator's journey. These words do more than depict the physical setting, they carry additional weight by symbolizing the fear and uncertainty that unsettles the narrator. This approach amplifies the sense of disorientation experienced during the journey. The recurring motifs of dark and darkness act as cues, reflecting the psychological turmoil and unpredictability faced by the narrator. The darkness symbolizes not just the absence of light, but also the absence of clarity and assurance in the narrator's path. By doing so, the writer skillfully intertwines the physical journey with a psychological ordeal, enhancing the complexity and depth of the narrator's experience. So if we put all that together, then how much should you write for this question? Well, you should spend around 10 minutes on it, and you should choose examples where you can write in as much detail as possible. For a lot of people, that means you might end up with 2 paragraphs, maybe 3, but that's assuming that you choose something you can go into depth in like this. And here's a little test that you can do. You can set a timer and you can write for 10 minutes solid and see how much you can write handwritten in 10 minutes. And that'll give you a rough idea of the amount of words you're going to use in an answer to a question like this, a 10-minute question. So why not just have a go at that? Put your answer in the comments section. Time yourself, 10 minutes of writing, just free writing. How much can you write? And in the exam, it's going to be a little bit less than that because you're going to be thinking about your analysis as well, aren't you? So you're not just going to be solidly writing, free writing for 10 minutes. Whatever you do, you should spend around 10 minutes on this question and you'll have no chance to write about everything, so choose the examples you feel you can write in depth and perceptively about, and then get writing. If you found this video useful, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.